got stuff. We've got all this weird stuff with admissions and colleges and universities and the racket that they are. Menelek said something great on their last podcast about this because he used to work in admissions, and he said that I've been saying universities are a racket all along. But he actually made the statement that the education that you get at Harvard is no different than the education you get at some community college.
Right.
It's just the prestige that comes along with going to that school.
Yep.
But it has nothing to do with the actual thing that you're learning, because basically your subjects are going to be your subjects.
Well,
They're not really going to be different. Harvard doesn't have a different math. They don't have a different science.
Nope.
They don't have a different English.
Nope.
They don't have a different social sciences department. I mean, you're basically all learning from the same experts of their fields, and that's what you're doing. It's not a different education, and everybody thinks it is. It's like, oh my god, I didn't get into my first choice of university. Like, who fucking cares? There's 7,000 more of them.
Right.
Pick one, because it doesn't really matter which one you go to, because the education you get will be the same. And guess who's going to spend most of the time doing all the learning? You. Library, internets, books that have a smell, and you turn the pages.
Books that have a smell.
Hell yeah!
I miss that smell.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's all of what you do is your own. Your college and university experience inside of the classroom is based on what you think you should be doing. It has nothing to do with what any teacher tells you to do, any assignments they tell you to do. It has nothing to do with any of that. It is the time and energy that you put in, because like when I was in high school, you kind of float through high school, getting as good as you can get. But then when I got to university, I was like, I'm gonna get. Like, I was never the good grade guy. So I was like, I'm going to get really good grades. I'm going to study hard. And I did. And I got good grades. But it was like, okay, why? What was the point of this? Because my GPA won't matter when I go for an interview.
Nope.
Nobody asks for your GPA in an interview.
They don't.
They want your degree. So if it's from Podunk University or, UCLA or whatever, now you're just talking about the names of those places that basically have good sports teams.
Yep.
They're living off their sports teams. So if you go to a school that doesn't have a sports team, that means you don't go to a good school?
Well,
whatever.
When I was looking for universities from high school, my grandparents suggested that I go to a local community college, which I didn't want to do because in my brain, it was inferior, right? When I started looking to study vocal music because I wanted to sing opera, I did some research and was trying to find the best university or college near me. The best one in the entire state was Grand Rapids Community College. And the reason it was because the director of the music department was the best director in the entire state, and he worked for a bunch of different universities, but his home base was at Grand Rapids Community College.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I'm telling you,
hey.
it's a racket.
I could go and pay $28 a credit hour or $250 a credit hour.
I can live on campus and spend more money, or I can live next to campus and spend less money.
Right. So there was no question. I was like, I'm just gonna go here because if this is the guy that is the best in the state and this is where he's located, then that's where I need to go. And he was a phenomenal director, and I really learned a lot from him. But I didn't break the bank doing it.
People put too much weight on the name of the university. Having gone to 4 different universities and 1 community college, it really does not matter.
No.
I mean, all of the stuff that is university, like the stuff of hanging out, going to parties, having lots of friends and getting to know people and blah, blah, blah. I did all that at Tuskegee. Never did it again. Every school after that, I never did any of those things again. I went to school and I usually went back to work. Yeah. So it was like, forget the social part. It was all just get me into my class, let me pass my class. I mean, I still have nightmares about going to class.
Yeah.
I still have a reoccurring nightmare of a class that I keep trying to go to, but I'm too tired to go to it. So I keep having to start over every term.
Oh no!
I keep having that dream, and I've never done that. I think I've only had maybe in all of the years, maybe one class where it was like it was difficult to get to at that time because of work or whatever, and I just had to like drop the class and be like, I just can't do it.
Yeah, I have only dropped one class. It was my piano class because I couldn't get there.
I mean, yeah.
I couldn't, like, I was so exhausted and I was going to school full time. I was working 45, 50 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't get to that particular class, and so I had to drop it.
It's weird. This whole thing, I mean, basically all it did was confirm what we already knew about these universities.
Yep.
It just confirmed the idea that people with a lot of money can buy their children's way into these schools because they're not merit-based application process. So, what are you pointing at? Why are you pointing? Why are you scary?
Do you want me to fill your pot again?
Fill my pot? That sounds dirty.
You made me break my potato jet impression.
Dude!
That's what I've been
You guys
doing
have
this whole
got
time
to
you've been
watch
talking.
Potato
I've been
Jet
looking straight into the camera.
when someone else is with him and he's
not
talking at all, but he is listening, the expression on his face is the most perfect I don't give a damn face about anything that's going on around me right now. Oh, it's so awesome. You just
It's like someone told him to smile and nod, because every once in a while when someone says something right, he'll go.
But then he just goes back to this weird thing. Oh, it's so funny because if you just watch him, that's what makes it funny.
Because someone else is talking about the camera and stuff.
Sure.
Someone else is talking about the
But
camera.
wait a minute, we gotta get to your thing.
We will. Aaron's not gonna want to stick around.
I mean, it's the paper. We gotta do the paper.
Paper.
Look how many items on the paper.
There's quite a few.
Be quiet. How many items?
Let us check.
Come on, check the numbers.
45.
40.
Because 46.
Quiet! Will you get the stuff so we can move along?
46 is blank.
45 things on this list.
Yeah, 46 is blank.
So far. Just wait until next week.
Yeah.
I bet you there'll be more. It's growing.
Yeah.
And there's only a couple crossed out, so yeah, y'all in for it now. This is like waiting. Did you see the post on Facebook where somebody had free switches?
Ooh, what?
What?
I'm sorry, what? Free switches?
Free switches, man! I was
Free
like,
switches?
yes, beat them!
No.
Free switches! I mean, it was like in a bundle, and you could just walk up and just take one. Had a
What?
sign and everything said free switches. Yes.
Oh wait, you're talking about the stick, not the actual console. Okay, I'm.
You think
I thought
I'm talking about free video game
Yeah,
consoles?
that's why I got excited. I
think you were in the wrong podcast, dude.
Yeah.
You need to go to the.
Yeah.
To the, where can I link it? I can link it up there somewhere, right? You need to go to the game chat for that.
You can put a link in the card.
I know, right up there.
Yeah.
Make it come out of the
Yeah,
side
it
thing.
can come out the side. Yeah.
I don't know what side. Like we're all reversed and stuff.
Yeah. So it's probably like that.
There.
This. Yeah.
Something like that.
Jazz
We're
does that all the time.
gonna up our
You
game.
can- you
we're
can
up
even
in our
put-
we're up in our YouTube game too.
You can even put a poll in the card if you wanted to. Jazza does that all the time.
A poll.
Yeah.
That might be kind of good especially for this for your mother's crazy parenting podcast stuff.
Should you or should you not?
Beat your child. Hell yeah. That little white ass kid that was cussing out that dude, that dude should have fucking choked his ass and threw his ass through some shit and then walked over and whooped his ass with a belt. He should have just let his pants fall to the ground and whooped that little boy's ass old school style.
So,
I don't disagree.
so poll in the
It
card.
It might be up there or over there.
It's somewhere in
somewhere
there. It's in a corner.
But that would be
know
so
where it
awesome if that. When I watched that video, I literally wanted him to whoop his ass. I just was like, come on, whoop his ass, whoop his ass. Just
a little.
He don't have to punch him. He didn't have to knock him out. But I did want him to take off that belt and just start swinging.
Man wearing sweatpants. He didn't have a belt on.
Oh, well, see, that's why you wear a belt. Belt is the first line of defense.
Spontaneous whoopins.
Spontaneous whoopings. That's right. That's right. 1970s all over again. Spontaneous whoopings. Your ass fucking up at your friend's house. Guess who gets to whoop your ass? Friend's mama. Spontaneous whoopings.
Yeah. Look, my dad could get that belt off like that.
Right, you could just pull it off because it wasn't really holding up pants. It was just there for decoration, waiting for the whooping time, and it was just like
it's like a holstered gun.
Well, no, it was more like a samurai sword. You just.
He had a belt buckle, so just one little flip open and whoo. It was like a two-step process. Your ass is grass, Mr. Postman. He's about to tear you up.
That's your ass, Mr.
I think somebody commented on that. He should have whooped him like Smokey did that kid on the bike.
Yes! Yes! That's what I said. Go back to the 1970s where people just random ass whoopings for bad behavior. You know, how you gonna have that video? That video had more than 4, I think, adults in the area.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are y'all letting this boy act this way? 4 adults. Man, please.
They had 2 women. The man who was in charge,
they should have all been whooping his ass.
The man who was in charge, who was telling the child, you better go home. Just get your bike and go home. And then the man who was recording the whole situation.
And then there was a woman walking around trying to grab the boy.
Yep.
And then there was somebody inside of the place working.
Yep.
Man, they all should have had a ass fest. They should have all went home with a piece of ass like the fucking Berlin Wall. They should have just been out there like, yep, you little bad motherfucker, you ain't coming back here. That's right, everybody gets a piece of this ass.
The man even called and said, you better tell his mama to come and get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he called his sister.
It's like, what? Better tell somebody. No, nobody doesn't. You need to tell his mama that he's here.
I know.
Don't come. You don't need to come and get him because he's not going anywhere because he's not going to be able to walk.
Yeah, come watch.
I know. If you want a little spectator sport thing happening, we are about to whoop some ass.
Bring the snacks.
And I like how I love how this little kid,
little motherfucker, want to
act like he's all big and bad with an adult.
Yeah,
until the adult put his hand on him, and then he wants to start crying like a little bitch. Are you crazy? He should have been like, I'm a bad motherfucker. I'm about to get up and whoop your ass, and started swinging or something.
Yep.
Don't sit there and act so tough until you get hit.
Child
and then
abuse.
I know, he's like, yeah, I'm going to call the hotline. I was like, what the fuck? You were so bad 5 seconds ago.
You were the one who was pushing, swinging, bumping up against, and punching a full-grown man, and you think...
I don't think that man was full-grown. Because he was a little too short to be full-grown.
Listen, he was still a grown-ass man.
No, he was an old-ass man, but I don't think he was full-grown. That dude was like that much taller than the kid. I mean, he was...
Yes, but look at Aaron. I'm a grown-ass woman, but he's like 10 feet taller than me.
So you're saying the kid was a giant?
I don't know what the kid was.
I mean, he's got Hagrid blood. That's a whole different thing.
No, it's Sasquatch. He was a giant. I'm Sasquatch. That's different.
I said giant. I didn't say Sasquatch.
I say Sasquatch. Have you seen how hairy this young man is?
No, I try not to look.
Look at this all here.
I try not to look.
So, but this
Any
child...
other places have hair.
This child wants to act like an adult, swing like an adult, talk like an adult, but then when an adult finally has enough of him
acting like a fucking child,
acting like an ass, and puts him down, the man told him, if you don't stop, if you touch me again, I am going to do this. Now, the man allowed him to continue to touch him for quite a while before he put his hands on him. As soon as the kid swung on him and punched him in the face, the man had had enough.
He didn't hit him in the face.
No. Yes, he did. He hit him right here on the side of the face.
I don't remember hitting him in the face.
He did hit him in the face.
I thought he hit him in the side.
Nope, he hit him in the side a couple times. He hit him in the arm. He hit him in the shoulder.
All I know is
and he hit him in the face.
That man
when the man
never
was like,
hit him.
He never hit him.
All
he
he
grabbed
did
him
was
and threw him down.
And he lost his balance and fell over because the throw was not that violent.
Nope.
Not as violent as what I would have done to a cat.
Nope.
No.
Okay, so that kid was just a little bitch.
Absolutely.
Talking shit, bitch.
But the thing that I took away at
Punk
the end
ass
when
punk.
he was talking to the woman was like, "You need to get your bike and you need to go home." We also what happened.
Oh yeah, and then she became a bitch and a whore and everything else.
He called her a bitch and a whore.
And see, that dude should have came back over there and
punched his ass.
Whack!
Yep. Because
100-hand slap on his ass.
all I could think of at that moment is this is exactly what this child hears at home.
Hmm?
He is just repeating everything that has been said to him or about his mother or about whatever.
Now you're trying to slide back into the child as a victim's thing.
No!
I'm gonna send you a clip that you can put in the video. It's of Steve Harvey from the Kings of Comedy, and he's going, "White people."
Listen,
I'm gonna send it to you.
when I was reading the comments, because
I'm telling you, man, that little motherfucker. No.
But that's what our son says last night.
White people.
Look.
I'm looking at him like,
There's a
sir.
reason why we talked about it last week. There's a reason why black folks watch the white kid flipping out in the store and be like, ooh. There's a reason why that happens, because that kid talking that way with adults around, man, please. I don't care if you got a gun, knife, or whatever. I'm about to whoop your ass. And then if you come back up in here, you're going to get whooped again.
One of my friends posted a video
Free
this
switches, damn it. Free switches.
One of my friends posted a video this week, and it was this dog who was just going fucking crazy, talking about like the dog was howling and blah blah blah, and the woman's like, now blah 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 blah, and at the caption that she wrote was me trying to have a conversation with my son, and I'm like, if your child acts like this dog, you have not done your job. Because your child and my child are exactly the same age. And I wish my child might try to act like that with me. Screaming and howling and acting a fucking fool. I wish he might. I don't hit my children. But man,
I do.
You raise your voice like that animal was, and then she was saying her son was exactly like this dog.
Beat him.
I'll get taller real quick.
No, you wouldn't. Beat him.
No, you wouldn't get taller. You get
1 to the chin.
You damn sure wouldn't get taller.
You wouldn't get
You
taller.
pull Isaiah Thomas before you get taller.
You wouldn't get taller.
If you want to find the Traveling Fars, you can find us on the YouTube, the Facebook, the Pinterest, the iTunes, the Spotify, and I think the Google podcasting thing.
Yes.
The Traveling Fars. If you like the Twitter and Instagram, Traveling Fars. Email travelingfars@gmail.com and the blog space, thetravelingfars.blueberry.net. No E's in the blueberry. All right, we're out of here. Say goodbye to the people.
Stay tuned for the game chat.
Stay tuned. Yeah, say goodbye to the people.
Bye, people.
Oh, God.
Oh,
perfect timing.
it stopped right in the middle of my Camp 2.
See, you forgot about Camp 2.
Yeah.
Peace!